functions on the preamp are obviously on and off true bypass, and then the Abbey mode, which is changing up a bit of the gain and some of the impedance. And so it's acting like a booster, but it's more dynamic than that. It's not just raising the volume up. When you click on the Abbey mode, if you continue to play very soft, you won't hear much of a boost, but as you dig in with your pick, then you'll get up to 35% more dynamic response from your amplifier. That could be louder, or that could be more distorted depending on your amp. If I turned up the preamp, here's the volume again, dry, and turn it on, and it comes up a little above a unity gain. And that's just enough for the strings to kind of pop out more out of the chord. Nothing really big there. And so from about here to here, the gain rises fairly rapid to the point of overdriving the amp. But for the sake of the demo, I'm not really going to go any further than just slightly above a unity gain setting. And like I said, with the Abbey mode on, that's a G chord. So there's enough of a boost in a song to rise above the drums and for soloing and turnarounds and that sort of thing. But the preamp itself is only these two controls, and then the on, off, and the boost function. Inside there is a dB switch, which cuts a little bit of the upper treble and a little bit of the gain, and I find that to be a really good thing, especially if you're going to put other pedals in front. Then it doesn't push so hard on the preamp of the echo part of this pedal, the echo circuit, because they share the same board, but there's actually three effects actually going on in here: the preamp, the echo, and then a Photocell vibrato kind of chorusing effect that you only hear it on the slapback. So if it's completely set to dry and you have the echo on, you get no echo, obviously, and you're not going to hear the Photocell. So if I went to about 50% wet, and then I turned on the Photocell, and I turn up the depth, you can hear the distinct pulse. And obviously the speed control. And that sounds more subtle until you start raising up the time, or lengthening the time. And then those features start popping out. And it's a randomized pulse on the Photocell, as you can hear. Randomized in its intensity, so ultimately sounding like a variance in the wobble. And the reason I stuck this on here was if you wanted to get the sound of the RE301 Space Echo when the tape has been is older, it's stretched, or it's dirty. The nuances of that tape can be brought out by using this feature, and it can be bypassed completely. You don't have to have any of that in your echo. And as you can hear with the repeats, the tape degrades, starts leaning out in the low end more than it does in the high end, and then it browns out with the note. And then if I engage the photocell again, I would turn the depth down so it sounds like my mechanical RE301 does. Also, with the wet, it's not 100% wet. If I turn it all the way up, the guitar signal still stays in the dry signal. And that stays 100%. The dry signal is 100% analog. As it feeds into the wet mix, that's when it's going through the delay chip. And back up to about 300. Sitting here, that's when bringing in a chorusing effect, not set too deep, starts adding dimension. Another feature I haven't mentioned yet is there's an effects insert point here on the left hand side. It's stereo tip ring sleeve coming out, and it allows you to place other effects that you have between the preamp and the echo. So if you have a compressor that you like to have, you know, post boost but before the delay, you can place that between there. Or if you've got overdrive pedals that like to be stacked, it's perfect for putting them between these two. I think I've covered basically everything about this box. So I'm just going to make some more noise how I like this thing. And you'll notice I have the Abbey mode on, but I have the gain turned way down so that I get more clean, more boost out of each note as I go.